What is happening, Reject Nation? It is that time of the week where we watch from Eric Voss and new Rockstars more Easter eggs and breakdown for Falcon and Winter Soldier, where he gets to share his skills with sponsorship. Thank you to Skillshare. If you guys haven't heard of Skillshare from this person, this person, this person, this person, and this person, then let us tell you what Skillshare is all about.
Skillshare is the online learning community with literally thousands of courses here to help you unlock your creativity, explore new skills, and expand your existing interests.
Whether you're honing inspiration for a creative passion project or just trying to avoid some boredom, Skillshare has a course for you.
It was actually pretty difficult to pick a class to shout out for this video. There are a ton of really worthwhile ones.
Wait, you picked out a class?
Yeah. I applied for it.
I didn't see high top film.
Since we get so many questions about how to grow a channel, I think the perfect course for you guys out there would be Marquez Brownlee's YouTube success course. Marquez walks you through the whole process from theorizing your first video to shooting, editing, posting, channel growth.
Wait, this is all real?
This is real.
I usually just skip when people talk about Skillshare.
I
That's
know.
some beneficial information.
You could have learned something from the shout out alone.
I mean, from my understanding, the first 1,000 people, that is one less than 1,001, to use our special link in the description box. Guess what? Guess what?
What we got?
You'll never guess this. You're gonna get a free trial for Skillshare Premium membership. Free.
Dang, I thought you were gonna say like a parking space or something.
No. We have run out of parking spaces.
The street is full. After the free trial, it's only about $10 a month. There are no ads or anything, so it's all about the knowledge. So go grow your brain.
Sign up today. Totally not shooting this on a different day now.
It's just mere moments after.
Totally not dealing with food poisoning at the moment either.
No, you're not.
Welcome back to New Rockstars. I'm Eric Voss, and this is a breakdown of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier episode 5, Truth, in which Julia Louis-Dreyfus
John and I do
leaves
that.
John Walker more dumbstruck than a shield to the face. I'm gonna explain your big questions and break down all the subtle details that you might have missed in this episode. So we open on John Walker
missed it all.
mid-sprint, just like how
didn't
Captain
watch
America
the
and Winter
episode.
Soldier opens for Sam Wilson and Steve Rogers in the middle of their runs. Except this Cap is running from his problems, not interested in making friends.
I wonder if that is an intentional mirror.
Yeah. Could be.
Maybe.
It's a
Or it's just,
poetic
ooh.
parallel.
Composer Henry Jackman recalls his music from Captain America Civil War.
Yeah.
You also hear this leitmotif later. This whole fight mirrors that 2-on-1 fight that ended that film, in which Bucky teams up to take down a rival who is filled with rage over a dead loved one. Now, Sam's focus goes to the blood still on the shield.
John.
Yeah, notice that.
I think the biggest difference though with Captain America Civil War is that, I mean, there's a lot of big differences in terms of the context, but you know,
Captain America's in it.
with the shield smashing kind of mirroring Captain America Civil War scene with Iron Man, and then have that also mirror that famous fight scene between the three of them. But what was neat is like, oh, these are all stems of Captain America that are fighting with each other right now, though, you know?
Cut off one Captain America, 3 moral takes.
Notice that vibranium hums, a sound effect they often do with the shield to indicate its kind of weird mystical qualities, but here it's boosted up.
Oh,
As if
I like
Steve's
that.
spirit is dismayed at these stains. Now Bucky tries to calm John.
Don't go down that road. Believe me, it doesn't end well.
I'm not like you.
Yeah, notice how Bucky just
Definitely.
takes this in, biting his tongue, letting the other two talk for a bit, and he only speaks up once more in the last line spoken right before punches are thrown.
You don't want to do this. Yeah, we do.
But we gotta break down this fight move by move because everything is amazing.
Move
in it.
by move.
Early on, Bucky grapples with Walker and goes for his gun, smartly disarming him as soon as possible, and he knocks that gun loose. But in response, Walker, in slow motion, raises the shield to bring it down on Bucky's head, just like he did to Nico. So we're freaking out, but Sam jumps in to
We're
save
freaking
Bucky.
out.
That scary
Freaking
moment
out,
happens
man.
again at the end of the battle.
Don't fucking
when
handle
Walker
it.
brings that shield down on Sam this time until Bucky returns the favor. I love the way Sam
It's like John Walker's power, like when you know like a couple of buttons in a video game. Like, but I know that with this strong character, he'll do this awesome power move. You know?
And if you see him charging up for it, you gotta try and get a hit in before he does it, otherwise you're dead.
You can't just keep going for that one move, John Walker, is what we're trying to tell you.
Expand your repertoire. Don't be a button.
Yeah, open up that combo list, dude. There's a move list on every fighting game.
Up, up, down, down, left, right, left.
I love the way Sam uses his wings in this fight. First using one to slap that shield out of Walker's left hand before he catches it with his right. And then later, Sam backspins on his wings to trip Walker. And when Walker throws the shield at Bucky, knocks him off his feet, Bucky catches the shield and briefly wields it. If you think about it, every time on the series when John Walker flings something at Bucky, always catches it. Walker throws Bucky, smashes his vibranium arm, causing it to glitch briefly, though it appears to recover shortly after. Sam tries to tether the shield, similar to how Peter Parker webbed the shield in Civil War out of Cap's hands, but it doesn't work. Walker pins him, rips off his wings, and they restrain Walker to try to pull the shield off his arm, similar to the Avengers dogpiling on Thanos to remove the Infinity Gauntlet, until inevitably, using the force of Sam's jetpack, they freaking break his arm.
So painful. What I love about the effect of Falcon's wings being ripped out, it feels like they are an extension of him himself. So it feels like a physical part of his limbs, his body is actually being ripped off.
Yeah, it still feels like a wound.
It feels like it's just an extension of his body. So you're like, oh no, that hurt. Even though he's not feeling physical pain from it, it feels that way. And I think that's really effective.
If you think about it though, Steve Rogers' arm was also broken as he fought Thanos in Endgame. Remember there was that close-up where he tightened the shield strap as a tourniquet. So in that way, Steve fused the shield with himself to make himself whole, whereas Walker breaks himself over his attachment to that shield. I mean, throughout the MCU, one of the best things about this shield is the way it's been used in collabs. And here is another collab for those books. Now, Bucky drops the shield for Sam, another mirror of the way Cap dropped the shield for Tony in Civil War. And as he does this, he is bathed in these beams of sunlight, almost as if getting Steve's blessing to return his spiritual symbol to its rightful place. And right on that drop, a little glimmer of light reflects off the shield. And as Bucky walks off, listen again to the music.
That's brilliant.
Yeah, the composer is bringing back the end of the line music that he composed for Captain America Winter Soldier. That was the moment when Cap dropped the shield to show his friendship to Bucky.
I'm not gonna fight you.
I love how much this journey's mirrored to Captain America.
Yeah, seriously.
The films. Yeah.
Later on, Torius tells Bucky,
"Hey, you got your sleeve back."
He's calling back Bucky tearing off his sleeve before that dumb jump out of the plane in episode 2. And Sam tells Torius to take these broken wings.
Wait, yo, you forgot the wings.
Keep him.
Yes, Joaquin Torius does become a version of the Falcon in the comics when Sam becomes Captain America. So we could be...
Whatever happens, he better have that actual Falcon on his shoulder. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah, always, always, even in the heat of battle.
And they better use practical Falcons on set.
I will
not settle for some CGI
your title
Falcon.
character. The real Falcon.
The real Falcon, not the title character. That fat Falcon.
Yeah, on his shoulder. The real Falcon.
Then what was your thing about
the actual Falcon? Yeah,
the actual Falcon, the real. Oh, I thought you were talking about like just the character.
Don't CG the bird.
This is what we call a misunderstanding in the real rejects.
And it made the joke better.
Yeah, let's see if this stays in the video.
So we could be looking at the origin for New Falcon. I mean, Sam's line here does
New
feel a bit
Falcon?
like Tony's moment with that pre-recast Rhodey and Iron Man.
Next time, baby.
Yeah, more like next time, boom, you're looking for this. Walker goes on trial before council. You can see flags from the US Army, US Navy, Air Force, Coast Guard. So I assume this is some combination of the Joint Chiefs, maybe with the chairman of the Senate Armed Forces Committee, because he's a senator, they're military people. Maybe this is a government body representing the US delegation to the GRC. Look, it's post-blip. Who knows how government works? Then Walker goes Kavanaugh.
I lived my life
Goes Kavanaugh.
by your mandates. I dedicated my life to your mandate.
And then a very cold...
You built me.
Yeah, through Walker's rage, we are given a clearer reference point for Isiah Bradley, who was another super soldier who was just following orders, but in his case, he was not allowed to walk free. So what does John Walker have to complain about? Then Walker is approached by cameo alert!
Little
cameo.
Seinfeld and Veep star, Julia Louis-Dreyfus.
Contessa Valentina Allegra.
Here we go.
Fontaine. So you can just call me Val, but don't call me Val. Just keep it in your head.
Yes, Contessa Valentina Allegra de Fontaine is a longtime longtime S.H.I.E.L.D. agent in the Marvel Comics, often associated with Nick Fury. She goes by Agent 14, and at another point, Madam Hydra. When
She's
she
definitely
joins
gonna wear that
Hydra.
costume.
But that was really a short-lived mission when she was actually part of the Leviathan, and she was betraying Hydra, undermining them. Folks, Fontaine is a lesser-known figure, and a lot of folks right now are jumping on her being Madam Hydra. Confirmed! But that arc was really just a small part of her run. Like, she plays a big role in Secret Invasion, replaced by a Skrull who really kicks off Nick Fury's initial suspicions. She works on a FemForce team with Sharon Carter. You could jump to the conclusion that she is the power broker the show has been hinting at, though I think
she got purple in her hair, like Power
this
Stone.
Big cameo right now, but then wait to doubly confirm her as the power broker, a character who is referred to with male pronouns. I mean, she may just represent whatever faction of Hydra is left after they were hunted down and routed. And Julia Louis-Dreyfus seems to be playing it with the same kind of wry humor that Gary Shandling played Hydra-loyal Senator Stern.
I would have killed a bastard too. I mean, you would have been doing him a favor if you'd taken out the whole lot.
Yeah, DeFontaine sounds like she's part of some shadowy government agency, one without oversight, without a public face, which, yeah, sounds a lot like what Nick Fury initially was doing with S.H.I.E.L.D. And Hydra did corrupt S.H.I.E.L.D., so it is plausible that she could be heading up a secret division of Hydra that's still active somewhere, perpetuated by Zola's algorithm, which could mean Empty and my Zola handcar could still arrive at the station. But I don't know, it seems like Marvel just pulled a long-time lesser-known comics operative and plans to do something entirely new with her. So it's not about her history, it's about the plan.
You did the right thing.
You know, that's why I love this new Rockstar shit so much. Because we had our experience, like, you know, when we talk about it a little bit in our video, like way towards the end. Yeah, you know, learned some things about her. She's associated with S.H.I.E.L.D., involvement with Nick Fury, sometimes romantically. And I was like, oh, that's cool. And then everywhere the next day, when our video was being edited, everyone's like, Madam Hydra, Madam Hydra. I'm like, how did we miss Madam Hydra?
Yeah.
You know? Like, where in our research did we miss Madam Hydra? What he does here is go, look, guys, here's why it's not Madam Hydra.
Well, yeah, because
I'm like, now I don't
we
feel so
must have
stupid.
lost it between the FemForce and the Leviathan and S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
and Nick Fury and all these other roles that she's had.
Because that's what everyone's saying is Madam Hydra. I totally missed that. We were researching her.
Yeah. So it's definitely Madam
We
Hydra.
learned a lot from you Rockstars, you know? It's 100% Madam Hydra.
This will be the one.
Taking the serum, yeah, of course I know about that. It has made you very, very valuable to certain people.
Which certain people?
She plays it
notice
villainous.
that
Yeah.
indigo streak in her hair. I think DeFontaine could be at least partly inspired by high-ranking S.H.I.E.L.D. agent Victoria Hand, in the comics, deputy director of the Thunderbolts Initiative during the Dark Reign. Now, Victoria Hand already appeared in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., which Kevin Feige has been kind of indicating ain't really MCU canon, but since we already saw that character in a Marvel TV show, maybe they're pulling a different female S.H.I.E.L.D. operative from Marvel Comics. Either way, it's not just the hair, it's the fact that she values Walker because he took the serum, and she knows government secrets, and the Dora Milaje are taking Zemo to the Raft prison. Remember that? That was a facility from Captain America Civil
Thunderbolt
War,
Ross.
overseen by Thaddeus Ross, whose
Big
name
Shell.
appears in the end credits of the show associated with the Enhanced Humans Act. And we know from the first Hulk film that Ross was deeply interested in rebooting the Super Soldier program. DeFontaine could work for Ross, recruiting
makes
super
a lot of-
anti-heroes on a team named after Thaddeus, Thunderbolt Ross, the Thunderbolts, the anti-hero team in the
So
comics,
recruiting
initially headed up
Walker?
by Zemo.
Yeah.
I just won't be surprised if this season ends with Zemo on the raft, maybe
Yeah.
John Walker in the cell next to him as DeFontaine strolls past them, offering them a chance for redemption through the Thunderbolts Initiative, where they can join forces with other forgotten Marvel villains, like Ghost, like Agatha Harkness. Don't tell me you don't want to see Julie Louis-Dreyfus.
Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
Give it to me now.
That would be pretty cool.
Yeah.
It's like the Amazing Spider-Man 2 ending, but done properly. Because you really built up and took its time.
And it would also carry on the motif of mirroring older installments, but in new and darker ways, you know? Like, we had to work to assemble the Avengers and with that initiative, and then we could have the Thunderbolts initiative of anti-heroes coming together.
I mean, the second they said Zemo's going to the raft,
the
it's
raft,
like,
yeah.
okay, we're definitely building up Thunderbolts. And I love the idea of John Walker being in the cell next to him and then him being part of Thunderbolts. That'd be pretty cool if, like, why Russell could continue to carry on here.
I mean,
Yeah.
I feel like he's made such a splash that it would be unfortunate for him not to carry on in some way.
Carry on, ma?
You don't
Can't,
get carried away with yourself, all right?
Yeah, sorry, John. If you were
So
here
I'm
right
the
now,
one-
I'd be touching myself. And I hate myself for that feeling.
Zemo visits the Sokovian memorial that he mentioned in episode 3. This is one honoring the victims of the Battle of Sokovia and Age of Ultron, which includes Zemo's family. Actually, that lake behind it looks like one formed by the runoff from the upended terrain as the city was lifted. And Zemo's music from Civil War returns here.
Do you think that's true? That's such a specific detail.
I mean, if this is a monument to commemorate the lives lost, I can see it being in that
Zemo-inspired
place.
shirt design in our merch store, NewRockstarsMerch.com. It looks amazing, very cool design, and you can get
That's the
your hands
next
on
one
it
I'm
at
buying.
NewRockstarsMerch.com. Now,
Absolutely.
this statue has a large Sokovian eagle on it with a base showing Russian letters. That last word translates to Sokovia, I think. Now, interestingly, in the December trailer, this shot included a ton of flowers, notes, and flags at the base of the statue and was not yet surrounded by a wall of names or have a paved surface. I get those other changes, but why remove the flowers? Well, perhaps the flowers were laid for more recent Sokovian victims of a global pandemic and whatever that removed virus subplot was. Now, they would have changed that before December, but maybe they didn't get around to updating this shot in particular yet. Now, Bucky holds himself to rule number 2 by not harming Zemo, handing him over to the Dora Milaje.
I mean, they're just flowers at a memorial for dead people.
Yeah.
That makes sense that there'd be flowers there. A lot of people died.
Yeah, and I feel like, people would still be feeling the effects of that fallout.
I'm just saying, like, with that other pandemic idea that they have talked about, like the storyline they had to trim out of the series, why would flowers indicate such a thing? Because of recently deceased? It's too triggering?
I think they wouldn't have caused any interest at all had they not disappeared. Because they disappeared, now we're talking about it. Because absolutely, it's a monument to a recent tragedy. Of course, people would still put flowers and flags on it. But then again, also, if there was some kind of pandemic ravaging the world, I could also see flowers and flags for that. Maybe they just reworked the look of that scene for some reason. It's all in the flowers, man. Mephisto. It's Mephisto flowers. It's Agatha Harkness's flowers.
Now, Bucky holds himself to rule number 2 by not harming Zemo, handing him over to the Dora Milaje.
We will take him to the raft, where he will live out his days.
And I like how they come and go in that Wakandan Talon fighter that we saw in Black Panther. So Sam revisits Isiah Bradley, future Young Avenger Patriot, and his grandfather, Isiah Bradley. He carries his shield once more in that art case that Steve had it in Endgame, a nod to his sketching hobby. Isiah cites the Red Tails, the famous 332, referring to the 332nd
To the George
Tuskegee
Lucas
Airmen
film.
who fought in World War II. But as the scene goes on, it is a heartbreaking and challenging scene in which he shares more about his own tragic history.
A handful of us got shot up with different versions of that serum. They tell us it's tetanus.
So this episode gets its title, Truth, from the comic series Truth, Red, White, and Black, which explores Isiah Bradley's erased history as the Black Captain America. And with this tetanus line, sounds like this show is referencing the horrific Tuskegee experiments, in which the government promised black syphilis patients free healthcare, but actually just gave them placebos and let them die. Isiah goes on to talk about his missions during World War II.
A couple of the boys get captured.
Every
on a
time I
mission.
hear about that, it's like, oh.
I heard the brass talking about blowing the POW camp to hell to hide the evidence. And I brought them boys back.
Yeah, think about it. This mirrors Steve Rogers' rescue
And
mission
Steve
in that first
Rogers
Cap
was
film,
not
when he
punished
freed
for that.
hundreds of POWs that were written off as dead, pretty much. But instead of the heroic greeting that Steve got, Isiah was freaking tortured and imprisoned for 30 years. Isiah talks about his eventual escape.
There was a nurse. She took pity on me. Wrote up some fake reports, something. She had me declared dead.
Actually, we might have seen that fake death report for Isiah Bradley in the end credit sequence. So Sam goes back to Louisiana, he helps fix the family boat with some help
Really
from
good
Bucky,
catch.
who brings new gear design.
Man, that Isiah Bradley stuff is so great. How they managed to really implement that into this series. You know, it wouldn't have worked for any of the other Captain America movies, but to include him here, it's powerful, and it's crazy to know that all that political stuff that Isiah Bradley talks about is in the source material.
What? No, I'm pretty sure that's just Disney
That's
trying
just Disney
to put
pushing
their
their-
woke agenda on us, man.
And it is pretty gnarly to think that was one of the top comments in our video. It was about how Captain America, I forgot that Cap did. No, I didn't. I said it in the
You
video.
never
didn't I?
forget.
In the video, I said, like, That's everything that happened. Like Steve Rogers got the exact tip. I said something. I didn't forget.
You just forgot that you remembered.
I forgot that I remembered in the heat of the moment, which really helped me out with looking better.
Mm-hmm.
And then I just kind of forgot that I
was the
What were we talking
heat
about?
of the moment.
Helps fix the family boat with some help from Bucky, who brings new gear designed by the
CGI
Wakandans.
plank.
And we only get a tiny glimpse as Sam opens it at the end of the episode. Kind of kept a mystery, Pulp Fiction style.
You know, they are kind of like a Jules and Vince Vega, huh?
Yeah, a little bit.
Vic Vega. Who's Vince? Do I know Vince Vega? I don't know
Wait,
Vince Vega. It's Vic Vega, though, in the
Vic
movie.
Vega. What's
No, Vince.
Mr. Blonde's name, though?
Vic.
Yeah.
Those are terrible parents.
Hey, man, some families out there love it.
John and Ron.
Yeah, you either get ryming names or every name starts with the same
This
letter.
is my son Craig and Craig.
Craig, Greg, and Egg.
You never know where these pauses are gonna take you.
Some of them are going to be rich with commentary. Others are going to be golden jokes.
I'm guessing we're going to see new vibranium wings and a
Vibranium
functionality that
wings.
incorporate the shield so that Sam can feel comfortable carrying it without feeling like he has to live up to Cap. In fact, I think that could be the deeper meaning of this line.
Why didn't you use the metal arm? Well, I don't always think of it immediately.
Yeah, the way Bucky doesn't have to think about his arm,
so
Sam
much.
doesn't have to think about carrying the shield.
The
So
delivery.
Sharon Carter gives a call to Batroc.
Oh, please, if it weren't for me, it's still
Batroc. We call him Batroc.
Yeah. It's my favorite genre of music.
Batroc.
I can give you double this time.
Now,
Oh,
MT
Batman
speaks a bit of
songs.
French and was able to translate Batroc's rant as saying that he lost his team on the last mission and that he would never work for Sharon again. Hey, thanks, MT. But this confirms that Batroc's mission in episode 1 was, in fact, orchestrated by Sharon Carter and her criminal operation in Madripoor. Now, again, I would be surprised if Sharon is revealed to be the power broker herself. Not just because of the pronouns, but because Zemo knew the power broker before he was imprisoned in Civil War, before Sharon broke bad. And really, Sharon seems like too much of a foot soldier for a godlike crime boss with spooky murals.
That's what she
I do
wants
think
you
she
to
is
think.
a
Why you
part
being
of a criminal
sexist, sir?
organization, maybe working for the power broker, maybe trying to undermine
Maybe
him.
she's gender
and maybe
fluid.
she's sending Batroc in to help the Flasgsmashers in their mission against the GRC so that Batroc can gain their trust and then lure them back to Sharon and the power broker. But check out this painting in her art collection. This is the Raft of the Medusa. It's a French...
I love that transition.
Yeah. Yeah, I know.
Sharon Carter might be this, it might be this, but check out this painting over here.
Guys, I mean, we've been doing some Easter eggs, but have you seen fine art?
painting in her art collection. This is the Raft of the Medusa. It's a French romantic painting depicting the infamous wreckage of the French naval frigate Le Medusa. I don't know. Leave that to MT to get that right. This is a real ship in history that ran aground and then had a super incompetent captain that led the crew to starve and get super dehydrated and start eating each other. So with all the focus on it here, maybe Sharon actually has plans to stage a mutiny on her crime boss, the power broker, seeing him as a failure to run a tight ship in Madripoor.
That
so Bucky
is
wakes
an
up to see
Easter
AJ and
egg.
Cass playing with the shield. I love that
Wow.
Bucky now sleeps on the couch instead of on the floor. Definitely a sign of improvement. And they play some
He's in
catch.
someone else's home.
Well, that chair's too small to sleep in.
Feels weird.
Sam is calling back his words to Steve
I
when he
love
first
the way
picked
the
up the
shield
shield
stuff
in
is
Endgame.
shot.
How does it feel?
Weird. Like it belongs to somebody
Like
else.
it's someone else's.
Now notice when Sam
damn it.
catches the shield,
Line
he
up.
braces and recoils with
it's
its
okay.
momentum, whereas Bucky
We'll
just
deal
kind of
with your
catches it with a
punishment
little
later.
recoil. Not only is Bucky stronger with his arm and
Yeah, he
serum,
does. He just
but this
catches it.
shield is
Yeah.
also an awkward fit
He's
for
good at
Sam
catching
still,
them,
with
yeah.
a heavier historical weight based off of the dark truths that Isiah Bradley left him with. But then Bucky reveals,
When Steve told me what he was planning, I don't think either of us really understood what it felt like for the black man to be handed the shield.
yeah, this confirms that Bucky and Steve did talk over that shield succession off screen during Endgame. But also, interestingly, that old Cap remembered that plan throughout his entire alternate life before rejoining them. But
I could see a scenario here that would piss off so many people, where that push-in shot they were doing on Bucky, we never thought about what it might be like for a black man to take on the shield. And if Anthony Mackie's not nominated for an Emmy, but Sebastian Stan's up for an Emmy,
Oh, no.
they use that.
I kind of
How
want to...
triggering would that be?
I wish I could visit that timeline just to see what happens on Twitter the second that runs. Multiverse.
Interestingly, that old Cap remembered that plan throughout his entire alternate life before rejoining them. Bucky brings back up Steve's notebook, and Sam says,
Steve is gone. And this might be a surprise, but it doesn't matter what Steve thought.
so does gone mean dead, retired, returned to another timeline, or on the moon like Torres thinks? I mean, just show us a freaking headstone for the old man and leave the door open to younger Cap in the multiverse and we'll be done with it. Sam tells Bucky that he has to be of service to his victims. That's a true way to make amends, probably setting up Bucky to return to old Mr. Nakajima and tell him the truth about his son next episode. And then Sam's looking hot as he's working out with that shield.
All day, man.
Uncle Sam!
All
Uncle
day could be a
Sam.
reference to Cap's catchphrase, I could do this all day. And his nephew calling him Uncle Sam again reflects Sam's growing comfort with carrying these patriotic
I
colors.
believe it.
Meanwhile, the Flasgsmashers grow their forces in Tompkins Square Park in New York, somehow getting into the US despite being highly sought after terrorists, whatever. Batroc hooks them up with some weaponry, and their new recruits disrupt a meeting with the GRC who are trying to vote on the Patch Act, which was told to us in a news report on WHIH. And presumably it'll be here in New York that all these warring parties will meet, including Sharon
WHIH
Carter,
stands for what the hell is
footage,
happening.
and John Walker with his new homemade shield. He actually hammers that together in this episode's post-credit scene. Now, actually, another big MCU title ends the same way, with credits that just go to black and you hear the clanging of a hammer. Avengers Endgame.
Remember who brought you this?
Yeah.
Disney brought you this.
In the first in this scene is a reference to that as well in Walker's man cave. Now here, Walker melts down the Congressional Medal of Honor that we actually...
Now he's gonna try to be Iron Man and mess that up too.
Yep, he's gonna be trying to be every Avenger by the end of the series.
I am Iron Man.
He's gonna start dressing in tight black spandex. He's gonna have an Iron Man suit, a bow and arrow, the shield.
Now here, Walker melts down the Congressional Medal of Honor that we actually saw him holding this earlier, and he uses this to fuse together the metal of the shield. Now, while I doubt this shield is made of vibranium or anything stronger, by being made of the military metals, it does bear a deeper, more personal significance for Walker. We heard him repeat throughout this episode,
I am Captain America. I am Captain America.
and this man's gonna be Captain America in his own mind, even if he has to cosplay to do it. But my favorite detail of this final shot is once again hidden in his hands. As he spray paints that metal ring, he coats his thumb in a dark red, not at all caring about the blood red stains that he gets on his hands. And yes, this is our Anarchy assembled shirt, also available at newrockstarsmerch.com. Follow me on Instagram and Twitter
that's
at
really
EA
cool.
Boss. Follow New Rockstars. Subscribe to New Rockstars here
Guys,
on YouTube
make a
for
lame
breakdowns of
shirt so that
everything
this is
Marvel.
easier
Thank
on
you for
us.
watching. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, Eric. I'll see you next week, Eric.
See you next
Voss.
week, buddy.
Love you, Eric Voss.
Dude, that is pretty gnarly. He should have a welding career.
He's a great metal worker, and he should hone in on those talents that he's naturally been given, not super soldier junk.
I think it's really bold what Marvel has done, like playing with fire on the image of Captain America's existence within the MCU. You know what I mean? You get such different feelings whenever you see John Walker, who's gone down this horror movie path. I am Captain America. You'll know. He's Captain. I'll be better than Steve Rogers. You know, you will love me. And then whenever you cut the footage of actual Captain America, Steve Rogers, you just get hit with this like warped and nostalgic feeling. It's like if there's someone in a leadership position who you loved, and then there's a new person in that leadership position, and then you're like, oh, I hate this guy. Do you remember what the other guy was
not
like?
the
He was
old
so
leader.
much better.
You're not a leader at all.
You're not the leader I love. We should go back to that leader.
Yeah. Well, there's something about Steve Rogers that he's just like your grandpa who always had the good advice or something like that.
He was a great person, man.
Yeah, he was a good guy. I miss Steve.
So with that, I think it's really cool to mess with the Captain America, like just with the image of it. Like you're not messing with Steve Rogers.
Yeah.
But you know, like now the word Captain America, I feel like has just such a different meaning now because of the show.
Yeah, well,
and not just because of John Walker, but because of the exploration, really, of like what Erskine was trying to do with choosing the right person to take on the super soldier serum. What this is really doing is exploring what the meaning of the shield is and what the meaning of Captain America is and the different interpretations that one could associate with it. And I think that's just really cool to do that, and it's you could just kind of be like, Chris Evans, man, he was great. But now you have this like different exploration of what it means to be Captain America, and I think that's really neat.
Well, yeah, and it's smart that they've, throughout the Captain America franchise infused more and more of these espionage and geopolitical themes, because then it does take on what the source material is sort of trying to comment on. But also, I think it's interesting too from just a film standpoint, because now we are getting to witness the benefits of having such a presence built up over so much time with Steve Rogers. Like it's so solidified in anybody who's been watching's memory that now, yeah, like the symbol is there and established, and now you can kind of freely probe it in a way that, yeah, isn't going to dismantle the legacy of Steve Rogers. In fact, it's gonna make it stronger in a lot of ways with contrast, and I think that's a unique thing that only a franchise built this way, or that has some kind of long-lasting association, can do. So yeah, like I'm excited for the future of Captain America properties, just because it seems like now especially we can take the glove. Like I feel like when you're first doing Captain America, you have to really be like, who's the ideal Captain America? We have to nail that.
Yeah.
And now that we've done that with Grace, yeah, we can do whatever. We can try all kinds of things.
It might be some of the best storytelling ever done, where an audience can actually get on board with perhaps accepting someone being handed off the baton. Normally the handing off the baton thing sucks and shit, and this is actually like, ooh, like when they had those final moments with Falcon, I'm like, that's my new Captain America.
That's what I've realized is the brilliance of this series. Is so many times the transition is literally, we made a new casting choice, and then the next time you see them, they're going to take up the mantle and be the thing. And it's actually, I'm realizing how brilliant I think it is that they took Sam, who has been offered the mantle, and Bucky as well, and put them in this scenario where the whole debate of the show is they chose a guy right away, plugged him in, and now, the world is kind of getting to have a response. Not the same response, but, an adverse response the way fans might to a casting change or something like that, obviously with much greater context heaped on top of it. But then, as a means of really, it's like at the end of Endgame, I was like, damn, what is it going to be like for Sam to take up the shield? And I love that, yeah, the whole point is getting to the decision for him to do that,
and making us want him to make the decision
through this whole series. Like, yeah, it's really clever.
It's cool, right?
Yeah,
it's cool.
It's literally getting us on board with the casting choice.
That's what I mean.
Over 6 episodes.
That's exactly my point. And it hit me in the last episode. What's going on? All right, guys. Well, we took time to actually talk seriously when most people have left the video.
It's a reward for you guys.
Thank you to Rockstars for putting this together. Subscribe, click that notification bell, hit that like button, and thank you to Skillshare for sponsoring this video.
Use that code.
Much love.